Hello, everybody. Today is Tuesday, March 11th, 2025, and we are back for another episode of Bricks and Beyond, a creator showcase series. This is attempt number 2. I apologize. First time didn't happen. I am back. We're going to see if I can get tonight's guest in here. He did not get the notifications, so we'll see. Once he's in here, I'll restart. There he is. All right. So, Corey, hang on tight. So again, Bricks and Beyond is a creator showcase series. For those of you that are joining for the first time, Bricks and Beyond is a series that highlights members of the Lego community, giving you a personalized look at the person behind the account. Tonight's guest joins me from the Garden State, also known as the state of New Jersey. He is a business owner, STEM instructor, Lego master, and most importantly, he is an all-around amazing person. You may see him on Instagram as samzbrego, but I'm here to introduce you to him as the one and only Corey Samuels. Get him in here. There he is. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
You know what? I'm also playing the role of dad, which is a 24/7 thing.
Yeah,
So that could have.
you do not have to explain that. I 100% understand you there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But
I
awesome
appreciate
to
you
be
joining
here.
me tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invite. I know
For
we
sure.
were trying to get this going for some time, and I'm very happy we had the chance to do
Yeah.
it today.
Well, I just started Instagram back in October.
Okay.
So I was not aware of what you used to do with your live series. And it's nice to know that we share the same passion in bringing people together, not only just talking about Lego, but about the world itself. So it's nice to have like-minded people to chat with for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how's the week going? I know it's only Tuesday, but how's your week going so far?
Oh man, my week is I was in North Carolina this past weekend, and usually I need Monday to kind of almost decompress, almost just to kind of get my day started, get my week started.
Sure.
So it's off to a good start.
Good.
Off to a good start. I have a
Good.
school assembly this Thursday, and and I have my classes during the week. So
Okay.
right back into the swing of things as always, but
I got
it's
you.
off to
Yep.
a good start.
Yep. Well, we're gonna get into your what you referenced there, classes there. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit because I'm interested in hearing about that.
Oh,
I also know you mentioned North Carolina, and I did follow what was going on. But for those that missed out, you were down in Charlotte, North Carolina, which was the Brick Fan Expo, correct?
yes, yes,
All right.
absolutely.
So what did you have going on there?
So myself and Tacos actually, we came up with an idea about a year ago to kind of join forces. We both do similar STEM classes in our respective states. So we said, hey, what if we approach different conventions and see if they'll be willing to take on the idea of doing workshops, STEM workshops at different conventions. And Brick Fan Expo, they said they'll give us a chance. And
Okay.
so now we've been with them for over a year. And this past weekend, we did what's called the Hanging Brick Challenge.
Ooh, okay.
So we draw inspiration from the show, and then we also add a bit of some technical and some science related
Sure.
information,
Okay.
so that
Cool.
when people are doing it, they're learning.
And that's I think a big thing on how a kid can sell Lego to their adult or to their
Yeah,
parents
yeah,
is this isn't just a toy; it's also a learning opportunity.
exactly. So that's
And
not the
you,
only reason, but yes.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I get you. But yeah, you guys, and I know tacos I talked about, but you've definitely given a new perspective in what you can do with Lego, in lots of different ways, and it's exciting because the kids can relate to it, and that's what's nice about it.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
so yeah, we'll talk about that because I know you have a lot to share about that, and I'm excited because I run a couple Lego clubs, and I definitely can pick your brain on a couple things here. So
Nice. I'm here.
good, good. All right. So I was doing some research, obviously, just trying to, find some interesting things that I might not have known about you. And I came across something, and I don't know how many other people knew this, but for all of you foodies out there, we have Corey was on an episode of Food Network's Buddy versus Christmas. So first of all, where did this come from? How did it even come about?
Okay, so uh, 2020 is when season one of Lego Masters aired.
Yep. Okay.
And around the summer, that was at the height of COVID. Everything was shut down, everything was locked down. I got an email from Cake Media.
Okay.
And I looked at the email and I instantly jumped at the opportunity. Basically, the email said, "We're from Cake Media. We represent Buddy Velastro, the Cake Boss. He has this mini series that's happening for the holidays that we're filming, in the next few weeks, and we would like to know if you want to be part of the teams that we're
Okay.
looking to bring on. And we need someone who's good at Lego and is local." And your name's popped up.
Okay.
So, instantly I got my brother on board.
Sure.
And he said, "You need a team of 5."
Okay.
So I said, "Okay, so we need to find 3 other people who would do this." We said, "Why not just choose the 3 Lego masters that are closest to us?"
Yeah.
And that's what
Okay.
we did.
Okay.
So it just so worked out that the networks, they agreed to it, because sometimes networks don't like to share their toys, so
Oh,
to
yeah.
speak, with other networks.
Gotcha.
So
Yep.
Fox was very open. They said, "Okay, you can have them, but they can't reference Lego Masters. They can't
Okay.
use the word Lego. You can call them brick
I
artists," and
saw
that's about it. Yeah.
I saw that in the commercial. What they call you, brick toy builders? Is that what they
Yes,
reference you?
brick toy builders. Yes, it was like, this could have been a great crossover.
Yeah,
Lego
yeah, yeah,
Masters
yeah.
versus, but Lego didn't give the green light, and,
Okay.
and Fox didn't give the green light. So
Okay.
we ended up
Interesting.
doing it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was a great experience.
So I'm just going to be honest. I did not, since I came across it so late, I didn't have a chance to watch it. What was that episode about? And it's been a few years, so I'm assuming you can spoil the episode. So
Yeah, definitely I can. So the episode is based. So basically, the series is called Buddy versus Christmas,
Mhm.
and Buddy's team of cake builders are going up against other teams that specialize in a certain
Okay.
field. So for us, we had to go ahead and build something out of Lego. Obviously, they were going to bake something.
Okay.
So me and my team, we chose to do a 6 foot tall Lego
Oh
robot,
wow. Okay.
and we had only 24 hours to build it.
Wow.
So we had to design this robot. We then had to build it, and then after we built it, we had to transport it to the Make-A-Wish Castle here in New Jersey.
Oh gosh.
So we had to literally put it in transit, and there's a great scene in the show where we're trying to take. We have the torso and then the lower legs. They're both attached, and we're
Yep.
trying to move it. And then as we're moving it, one of us went one direction, the other one went the other direction, and part of that leg jostled. It fell, shattered,
Oh,
and
lovely.
man, our hearts
Yeah,
sunk, because they
I can
said,
imagine.
they were like, "Hey, we can't give you extra time, so you have an hour to set up once you get to the location." So
Oh wow.
we're some of us in the back kind of try to kind of put some pieces together. We get out there, literally, we're all building this one leg back together again, and we were able to get it
Oh, good.
done, and
Okay.
put it on display. So
Okay.
yeah,
And I saw the clip with something falling,
yeah,
and I was like, that's probably one of those like TV moments where it was like a fake thing where they told you to drop Lego, but it was legit.
it was legit. They were cheering. The camera crews was like, "Oh yes, this is exactly what we wanted," because we
Oh,
was
that's
just we
funny.
were so careful
Yeah.
the entire process.
Yep.
We were so livid. We was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh." So, but we know TV, because we were on Lego Masters, so it's very fresh in our minds. So we said, "Okay, it's good for TV. Let it rock. We'll
Yeah.
be all right.
Yeah.
We'll live."
Well, I officially know you as Corey, the block or the brick toy builder. That should be your new name, the brick toy.
I wouldn't mind it.
No, no. I mean, hey, it gets the point
Yeah,
across. So, well,
exactly.
that's interesting. So, the result of that episode. So, did you guys end up winning against him, or what was the point of going up against each other?
I could probably show you something I haven't broken out in
Ooh,
years.
interesting.
So
Okay, let's see it.
you
Yeah,
are
yeah.
in for a treat.
See,
So
oh,
you are
I love this.
definitely.
I love when I get exclusive content.
Oh yeah, getting exclusive content right now.
By the way, you're not a Marvel fan, are you?
What gave it away?
Nah, nothing really. Just shot in the dark there. Oh, oh, would you look at this?
Oh,
He just randomly has this behind the bins.
randomly.
Oh, I love this. Oh,
Yep.
that's fantastic.
So
Fantastic.
they gave this to us. I'll put it right here. Um, but to answer that question, no, we didn't win.
Okay.
Buddy did win that challenge.
Of course he did. Yep.
However, the way we delivered it in the story behind it. So my brother was a Make-A-Wish kid,
Okay.
one of the first, in our area. So it was kind of like full circle
Sure.
to be able to build something, and then we asked if we can donate the actual 6 foot tall robot to the
Oh,
Make-A-Wish
nice.
castle.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Buddy, his team got choked up, and they said, "Hey, you know what? Even though we won the challenge, we're going to give you guys the 5K,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
we're going to donate it in your name to Make-A-Wish."
That's
So,
awesome.
so that check was given to us during production and stuff like that. And
That,
even though
that,
we
that
didn't win the challenge, we won the motive.
yeah.
So
Good.
that was what it was all
Good.
about.
Well, that makes it's nice to hear those stories when it's not just about the TV production that there is that the meaning of what's happening is actually worth
Yeah,
what happened. So good. I'm glad. Well, that's exciting.
absolutely.
I did not know you guys did that until today, so it was
There you
definitely
go.
cool to learn about. So
Yeah,
all right,
and you can still
so
find it. You can still find it
I'm
on the
gonna
Food
watch it.
Network.
I am
Yeah,
gonna watch it. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I'm gonna watch it because now I'm curious to see how this all played out.
yeah.
So. Um, all right, so obviously you and I are both in the Lego realm here, but I want people to get the chance to know you a little bit better as a person.
Right.
So before we get into the Lego, I have just a couple things I want to go over with you here. So as I mentioned in the introduction, so you are living in the state of New Jersey. Now, are you born and raised New Jersey?
Yes, born and raised here in New Jersey,
Okay.
Jersey boy through and through.
All right. So never lived anywhere outside. You've stuck to it.
Stuck to it.
Okay.
Stuck to it. Yeah,
I mean,
I
not
I,
a
I
bad place
wanted
to be
to.
stuck to.
Yeah, it's Jersey. That's all I can really say. It's Jersey. I mean, we get
Well,
we get a little bit of everything up here.
yeah,
We're close enough to New York that we don't have to deal with New York,
sure.
and we're close enough to Philly that we don't have to deal with Philly. We're just right in the middle.
Well,
So,
as a Cowboys fan, I know you don't want to deal with Philly. So,
oh yeah, not at all.
well, it's a nice place to be. I mean, I visited there, and it's like you said, it's not in the big parts of like the big cities, but you're close enough to get where you need to be, and you're by the ocean. Which what's wrong with having an ocean nearby? So,
Exactly.
um,
Exactly.
all right. So, where you currently live, do you live close to where you grew up?
No, actually, I mean, I live about 40 minutes from where I grew up.
Okay.
But I also live, but it's also 15, 20 minutes away from where I went to high school.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
it's like I kind of moved further away from home
Sure.
as I transitioned into life in different ages. But you know, it's relatively easy for me to go back home.
Okay. Now, do you ever go back like I don't know if your parents are still in the same place, or do you ever go back to visit like where you grew up at all?
Absolutely, all the time.
Okay.
My parents still live in the same house
Oh,
that I
nice.
grew up for most of my life.
Okay.
And I'm actively looking to do certain programs in the area that I grew up in.
Nice.
So I've been kind of networking out there, seeing how I can bring some type of free events,
Okay.
some other events, and just being able to just talk to the kids to say, hey, I grew up here, I lived here, I went through the same struggles,
Sure.
and I was able to make something out of my life,
Yeah.
and that you could do too.
Yeah.
So that's my
I,
mission in life.
I think that's huge for kids. Seeing somebody that's done what you've done and are doing what you're doing to
Right.
see that, like, no matter where you're from, it doesn't matter where you're from. But when you actually get to see somebody that has become something, and people become somethings in different ways, but like you've been
Right.
on TV. And
Yep.
so for kids to see that, it's like, oh wow, like, okay, I can do that too.
Hmm.
So I think that's like, it's a motivational thing for them, especially in today's world. There's a lot of struggles for kids.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
um, so what do mom and dad think of where you've gone and where you're going?
So it's a little running joke, but I rub it in my mother's face all the time because when we were younger, me and my brother, we would keep the Lego all over the floor. She would
Yeah.
step on it
Ah,
and she would toss it out.
yep.
She would say, "You guys are getting too big to be playing with these toys. There's nothing in this for you guys. You need to get rid of these toys, sell them,
Yep.
get rid of them, do something." And I always bring it up to my mom. Hey, mom, you know that time I was on that TV show for Lego? She's like, "Okay, Corey, you made your point. You made your point. You know."
Oh, that's good. Yep.
Yeah, but my mom, she's super proud. She's happy we were able. She always wanted us to be on TV. She didn't know how we would be on TV, but
Okay.
to be on TV for something positive is always great.
Yep.
And my dad is legally blind now. So
Oh, okay.
as
Okay.
I was as we got on TV and kind of like the years kind of kind of progressed, his eyesight got worse. So he was able
Sure.
to kind of see
Oh,
me on
that's good.
TV.
Sure.
Yeah, but now it's like, he likes to hear about the stories and he's just
Okay.
proud that I'm doing what I love and then I'm making an honest living doing
Sure.
it. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. That's my grandmother was blind too, and she that was always one of before she passed away. That was always one of the things that she was happy that she got to see me because she passed when I was 3. But she got this very briefly see me when I was a child, and it got to that point where she all she wanted to do was she wanted to live long enough to hear me read to her. Unfortunately, she didn't make it, but it's funny how priorities change, like when life deals blows to you. But it's good for your dad, that I can't imagine the struggle that he goes through, but good for him that he's been able to um, turn that around and do what he has to battle the task that he's been given.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
um, and it helps when he has somebody that's I mean, you're an energetic person,
Yeah,
so I'm sure you're very uplifting for him.
yeah,
So that helps.
yeah.
I
I'm
know it
kind of like
helps.
his therapist at times. Like sometimes he'll just sit and just rant and
Yeah.
he just want somebody to listen to him and I'm just sitting
Yep.
there like, I'm here, Dad.
Yep.
Ran away,
Yep. Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. So now I know you've mentioned it. People who have seen the show obviously know that you do have a brother. Do you have any other siblings?
I do. Now I have two sisters.
Okay.
Recently I lost my eldest sister.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, technically middle
Okay.
sister, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was very really sudden. It
Sure.
was a rough holiday season for
Okay.
us. But she was always full of life,
Mhm.
and she's the type of person that would tell me, quit crying over me. Like get your butt up and do something.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's definitely a piece missing of me forever. But it's life. It's part of life,
Yep.
unfortunately, and
Yep.
we just gotta learn to keep moving forward. So
Yeah.
that's what I gotta
Yeah.
do.
Well, so you have your two sisters and your brother here now. Obviously, your brother was a massive part in your adult Lego life.
Yes.
But let's go back for a second. So growing up, what's the age gap? Like, do you guys have a big age gap between all of you, or are you guys pretty close?
Me and my brother, we were about 5 years apart,
Okay.
and then my closest sister in age is 9 years,
Okay.
and my oldest sister is about 16 years.
Okay. All
So we
right.
have like a pretty loose range, I
Yeah. Yeah.
guess,
Yeah. Yep.
between us.
So,
Yeah.
so then what number? So are you? You're not the youngest, are you? Or no, your
No, no,
brother's. Your brother's.
yeah, I'm in a very interesting spot because I'm the first boy, but I'm
Yeah. Okay.
also like in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So you're
so I'm
you're
like both.
so you're the firstborn boy, and then so your brother's considered the baby
The
boy then.
baby.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So which gets more perks, the firstborn or the baby?
Oh man, definitely the baby. My brother, I mean, he's been through a lot. You know, he's been
Sure.
through a
Yeah.
lot. If
Yep.
anybody knows my brother's story, you know, childhood leukemia. So he's been through a lot, but he
Yeah.
was the baby. So
Okay.
he got all the perks. And I was the firstborn. So it was like firstborn boy, but my older sisters didn't get it as much as
Okay.
me. So it was like, it was a catch 22 almost. It was like, man, how come I can't be, I'm the middle, I'm like the middle, but I was treated like the first. So
Yeah.
it was weird. Very weird
Perks of
growing
being
up.
the first boy. I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah, exactly.
So then what would you say, like the dynamic with the age difference? What was the dynamic between you guys as kids, and then how did that change as you guys have gotten older?
I would say my sister who is closest to me in age, she's like my best friend.
Okay.
So she's the one who took care of me the most.
Sure.
She was the one who, you know, walked me to school, picked me up from school, taught me, you know, how to dance, like
Okay.
dance the merengue and
Oh,
salsa.
nice.
Like she taught me everything. My other sister, my middle older sister who passed away,
Mhm.
she was like my arch nemesis because she was considered the oldest. She was considered the firstborn for my
Okay.
mother. So when I came, I guess I kind of like I don't know. I affected that in a way. I'm like I don't know how I would
You
affect
threw
that,
a
but
wrench in their plans there.
I threw a wrench in their plans. So she growing up, she was always hard on me, and
Okay.
she was always like kind of push me, you know, harder than my other sister. My other sister was more loving and catering to me. So you know, it was kind of crazy in that way. And then my eldest sister, we because she lived in Florida for most of her life,
Okay.
you know, we didn't really have that type of relationship
Sure.
growing up. It wasn't until we got older and I got old enough that I can travel and stuff like that that I was able to kind of create that relationship between me and her. And
Okay.
then me and my brother, we're two cross fingers. Like
Yep.
my parents dressed us up as twins. We're
Oh,
5 years
nice.
apart.
Yeah.
So that goes to show how close we were. It still is. So
That's hey, I mean, I'm an only child, so I don't know what that's like. But yeah, I can imagine the bonds. I mean, obviously, as siblings, you're going to have your ups and downs,
yeah,
but at the end of the day, for the most part, you always know you have somebody that you can count on, which is
absolutely,
nice. Um,
absolutely.
all right, so let's disregard Lego for a minute here. As a kid, again, other than Lego, what would you say some of your interests or hobbies would have been?
Okay, so outside of Lego, so I have quite a few
Okay.
actually. Every Thursday I go bowling.
Okay.
I'm in a league,
Nice.
and been doing that for quite some time. And bowling is very therapeutic for me.
Sure.
You know, I'm dealing with kids all week.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, there is a level
God
of,
bless
of,
you.
of
Yeah.
restraint
Yep.
that I must exhibit. So usually I let loose on all of that restraint and all that when I'm bowling. So
Those
I do
poor
that as
bowling
a hobby.
pins.
Oh my goodness, yes. I look at those pins. I'm like, yeah, I remember you. You were just
Yeah.
talking all the class, and I'll just aim at that one
Oh
pin, and
yeah.
usually
Yep.
it's usual strikes.
Yep.
Uh,
That's good.
um, and I do go to the gym. Fitness is very important to me.
Sure.
It's been important to me for quite some time since high school.
Okay.
So you know, I typically try to go to the gym in the morning. It's kind of a way for me to unwind, relax, push myself. Also, just you know, get my day started.
Yep.
You know. So those are my two biggest hobbies. I would say that I do consistently. I used to draw and paint,
Okay.
and that's something that I would love to get back into. It's just a matter of finding the time and doing that. So I usually was able to make time, but now I have this 3-year-old that was just about to fall asleep, and once he saw me put the jacket on and go upstairs, wide awake. So he kind of makes it hard for me to do those types of things, but
Yep.
I'm hoping to get back to it.
Well, I it gets better. Mine's going to be 8, so I know it calms down. You'll get your free time back, but I it's just having a child is just like it's no other experience in the world. Um, and even in those worst times, one day you'll look back and you'll be like, man, I wish I wouldn't have cared. I wish I wouldn't have cared. They were screaming their head off because now they're never going to do it again.
Yeah, yeah,
So.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'm embracing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some Lego chat here. So obviously, I would assume as a kid, you kind of referenced it already. You did have Lego. So when do you remember what either your first set was as a kid, or did you have bulk bricks, or what do you remember?
Hmm. Man, you are asking the right questions, and you're lucky because I'm currently cleaning this area that I call an office,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yep.
as a result, I'm able to access certain things
That's
very
what
easily.
I like to hear. That's what I want to see.
So my good friend, the brick teach
Okay.
Matthew, he we had this conversation a couple years back,
Okay.
and every time I do an interview, I do a podcast. They ask me the same question. It's the same answer. It
Sure.
was a Lego space set
Okay.
long time ago.
Okay.
It was from, and I'll show you guys.
Just so everybody knows, this is unscripted. I did not tell him I was going to ask him this
You,
question.
you did not tell me this. So this was it, Spirus.
Wow, holy cow. Look at that.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Man, look at
It,
that box too. I mean, that's almost like pristine condition there.
I know, I know. This was literally the first set that I can remember my
Okay.
parents purchasing for me during Christmas.
Oh, wow.
I never finished
Okay.
it because of these wheels.
Okay.
I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out how to put these wheels on, and as a result, I gave up. And once I gave up, I never built it again. So I have the full set
Okay.
in here. Um, I've made a promise that I would not build this set until one of two things happen. Either I finally am able to move into a bigger space and I have a proper Lego studio,
Sure.
um, or my son is old enough to sit down with me and build
Ooh,
sets. And
okay.
once he's able to do that, then that will be the set that me and him will build.
Well, I mean, you say that. So, as much as I'd love for you to have a nice, massive, big studio, I'm going to lean towards the second option there because that's a little more meaningful. Then you can
Yeah,
get the new big studios.
exactly, exactly. I'm more leaning towards that as well.
Yeah. I mean, or I guess on the positive side, you could look at it this way. Maybe they'll go hand in hand together. Maybe they'll happen at the same time, and then you can build it with him in the brand new place. See?
That's right. There you
Positive
go.
thinking.
Speaking it into existence. I love it. I love it.
I'll keep that on my my wish list for you. That'll be my wish for you.
I
So,
appreciate
yeah, for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. So then, when you were little, do you remember? Did you have any bulk bricks? And if you did, do you remember like things that you used to enjoy building?
Yes. So I definitely did have a lot of bulk bricks. My mother would always purchase, or not even purchase, but she would get these little bags of Lego for
Okay.
free, either from the church or from like Salvation Army and
Oh,
stuff like that.
nice.
And my preschool teachers who told her, "Hey, Corey is really into building with Lego. Like he doesn't do anything at preschool. He just sits
Okay.
and plays with Lego all
Okay.
day."
Okay. Yeah.
So she would buy me that, and then I would build these little characters, and I would build like an entire city and stuff like that for these
Oh,
characters. I wouldn't use
nice.
minifigs. I would
Yeah.
just build like brick built characters.
Okay.
And me and my brother, as he got older and he's old enough to like communicate and everything with me and him will sit for hours and just keep telling stories and
That's
building
awesome.
stories
Sure.
of these little models. And we'll get sets, we'll build the sets, and then we'll tear down the sets just to take the pieces
Yep.
out and continue our
Yep.
story. So that was our thing.
It's funny you mention that because I had a Lego club a couple weeks or yeah, it was a couple weeks ago, and the we were doing a smash challenge,
Nice.
and I never force the kids to do the challenge for the month. Like if that's not their thing, they can go and they can build and do whatever they want.
Right.
And so because I was having them filled these builds with like studs or whatever to watch them explode, I didn't bring the minifigs. And I
Mm-hmm.
had this little boy come over to me and he goes, "Did you bring the minifigs this week?" And I said, "No." I said I didn't want them getting mixed up, and getting smashed everywhere and whatnot. And he goes, "Oh, well, I needed some. What am I supposed to do?" And I said, "Well, you could brick build them. I mean, you don't have to have the minifigs." And I'm not kidding you. the look on his face, like he stared into my soul. Like, what do you mean
Discuss.
I can brick build?
Utter disgust. How dare you?
And I say, this is one of my kicks I'm on right now is that um, kids these days, unfortunately, if they're not given the opportunities, imaginations just aren't there. They're missing.
Yeah.
Everything's about instructions, and if they don't have an instruction, it's almost impossible for them to build something. um, and that's what my goal was for the Lego clubs, was to help these kids get their imaginations, and most of them have grown. I mean, the stuff they create is incredible, but the look that kid gave me when I told him he could brick build a minifig, I mean, I will never forget that kid's face the rest of my life. So
Ingrained
I'm
in your
glad
memory.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it shows when we were younger, like we just did, and somewhere along the line something changed with the imagination. So that's another
Social
goal of
media.
mine.
Yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Social media
yep,
change. Yep.
yep. You know what? Maybe we should start an initiative, the Brick Built Minifig Initiative, where we make.
I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%.
Well,
I know we'll get into this a little later when we talk about my classes, but I know one of my classes, that's usually kind of a negative thing. So
okay,
I always give them a minifig based on whatever the class is, whatever the theme
okay.
is. And then, if they're not listening, if they're having a hard time paying attention or stuff, I'll say, hey, this is your one and only warning. If you do this again, I will take your minifig and you will have
Okay.
this as your brick fig. And can you put any accessories on this? Can you get any armor, weapons on this? They're like, no, I can't get anything on this. Exactly.
I like
So
that a
you can
lot.
either get this or you can pay
Ooh.
attention.
Oh, I
Once
like
every
that a
time.
lot. Oh,
Yeah,
I like that. Okay. That's going in the rule book for next year.
absolutely.
All right. So you said so your brother, again, he was 5 years behind, correct? Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right. So then when you guys really, like, you did have a point where you guys were still, like, you were not in a dark ages yet. You were still able to spend, several years with building together and whatnot.
Right.
So then when did you have it? You did have a dark ages, I'm assuming, as everybody does mostly.
I did have a dark
All right. So
age.
when did that kick in, I would
I
say?
could tell you exactly when that kicked in. Man, you know what? You are on a roll, 3 for 3. I'll show
Oh,
you
you
exactly
got
how.
more.
I'll
I
show you how.
swear this is not scripted.
Not scripted, folks.
Wow, man, this is the first time I ever hit, especially 3 for 3. Holy cow.
My dark age happened
Oh my
when this,
gosh.
when this came out.
You even have the see-through one. Oh, I remember those.
So
That's
this
understandable.
this was a Christmas gift.
Okay.
Me and my brother, we found out that my mother brought us the N64.
Okay.
And we've been talking about it, telling her about it. But our parents wasn't going to buy video games for us.
Yeah.
Then, sure enough, we saw the box in the
Oh,
closet. Me and my
oh
brother,
man.
we would literally peel it open,
Okay.
take it out. We would play it for 15
No, you
minutes.
didn't.
Put everything back in the packages, like
Yeah,
taped it back up, slipped it back in, sealed it.
that's
But of
fantastic.
course, mom knew. She said, you guys can't play this until December 24th at 11:59. And that was like a rule in the house. Like,
Okay.
if you want to, Christmas, you can open one gift and you can play it all night.
Yep.
And for Christmas
Yep.
morning, that was what we wanted to play.
Okay.
And then we had Mario 64, of course.
Oh,
And
nice.
Lego just didn't seem popular anymore to us.
Yeah.
And then we got into video games. We became gamers, and
Okay.
that's how my dark age started.
That's epic. I did a similar thing, looking for the Christmas presents, and then I ended up finding where they were stored. And then you nicely unwrap it, you play it, put it back. However, I will say this now, because I just did that with a singular game. You did it with the whole system. You still had endless opportunities. When I did that with the game, I got bored of it. And then when I got it for Christmas, I was like, gee, thanks for the game.
we wanted to use it sparingly because our friends, we would talk about it. They say, yeah, man, the game has like 100-something stars, so it's like an endless game. So we were like, okay, so we're gonna have time to play this game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're
Yep.
not playing all of it. We would literally turn it on, and then we would literally jump into the first level, and
Okay,
that was
yeah.
it.
And
We'll
that was,
jump into the first level, take a few steps, cut it off. We're
oh,
like, all
that's
right,
fantastic.
you can't do no more.
Well, good for you because I killed my Christmas that year. So
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe you have the see-through one too. Like that. That I had. Did I have? Was there another color? I think it was green, and
There was green. I think purple. I want to
I
say
think
purple.
I had a purple
Um,
for some reason. I don't know why I had the purple one. I guess that maybe that's what was available or whatnot. But
mhm.
yeah, that and the see-through controllers too. Did you have
Yes.
one of those? Yep.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm going 4 for 4 here.
No, I don't. I don't.
Ah,
My
you're
brother has
killing
those.
me here.
My brother has. I was gonna show you this one, but this is not. That's
Ooh,
not. That's
okay.
not a
That's
N64.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay,
But
man.
yeah.
I was gonna say if I'm going 4 for 4, I was going to play the lottery tonight. Holy cow!
Listen, man. The night's not over, man. You never know.
Yeah. All right. So Dark Ages was due to video games.
Yeah.
So what was the return point? Was it a set? Was it a happening? What brought you back?
Mm. This would have been a 4 for 4 for me. Would have been. But I've moved all of my Lego sets to a storage unit.
Which I just saw the video in the storage here. So yeah, I was
Yeah.
curious about that. Okay. Okay.
So I would say this. I was literally in Toys R Us
Okay.
when they had stores, and I was looking for a gift for I think it was a birthday party.
Okay.
And I walked by and I saw Lego. I said, "Oh man, Lego! I haven't played with Lego in so long."
Yeah.
And then I'm walking through I'm like, "Man, Lego's really stepped their game up. Wow, that's great." And
Yep.
then I saw Lego Speed Champions.
Oh, okay.
I was like, Lego has race cars, like detailed race
Sure.
cars. I was like, oh man, I know. 1 second. Hey, don't touch.
Yeah. Yeah, for anybody rewatching this, Corey just brought up Toys R Us. That used to be a brick and mortar store where you could actually go and buy toys. Stuff wasn't just online all the time. So definitely missed out on that age. I was explaining Toys R Us. You could actually walk into a physical store and buy toys. So
Such an ancient concept.
yes, very much so. Yeah.
But I saw a Lego Speed
Okay.
Champions car, and I purchased it,
Okay.
and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to look this up. I looked it up, and I saw that this was a new line, relatively a new line from Lego, and I said, wow, they have race cars. And then I started just buying up all the cars, and then I started noticing that the Marvel movies, Lego
Yep.
was making sets based on the movies. I'm like, I need these too, and then it just got me right back in.
You need them or you wanted them?
No, I needed them. It wasn't even a question. I need these in my life right
Yeah.
now, and I just started purchasing them, and I was like, all right, I'm never leaving the fold again.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm
Now,
here for life.
approximately how many years ago would you say that would have been?
I would say that was about 10 years.
Okay.
2015.
Okay.
2015 is when. Well, you know what? 2015, I got back into sets, but I was using these a little bit sooner than that. I would say maybe about 2013.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, when you all the like the first sets that you got, do you still have those? Or okay.
I still have them.
Okay.
All my Lego Speed Champions. At one time on my back table, I had a car garage, and I had
nice.
the year that these cars came out was on the lower level,
Okay.
and then it just kept going up by years. So I
that's
kept
really
collecting
cool.
every year.
Okay.
Yeah. So all that
Is
in
that
storage.
something you plan to bring back if you get a bigger space?
Yeah, I
Okay.
plan to just rebuild the entire rebuild the entire thing, and have the cars either like one of the cars rotating,
Ooh, yeah.
or
That'd be
just have like just a regular parking deck.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll see.
Awesome. Well, again, another reason why I want you to get a space because I'd like to see that. So,
Absolutely.
all right. So then, you have dabbled in mock building early on, obviously with the bulk brick. Now
Yep.
that obviously has carried over into the adult years.
Mhm.
So what now would you say? Do you have a specialty as far as like what you like to build as a mock, or do you just enjoy pretty much anything?
Um, I would say I enjoy anything. I enjoy a challenge. So I
Okay.
would always try to challenge myself in a different mock. I would say one of the mocks that I feel like I'm getting really good at are building characters,
Oh, okay.
like actual physical characters,
Sure.
either from a cartoon series or from anything,
Okay.
and then realism building. So
Okay.
like actually making one-to-one scale
Oh, nice.
models. You
Okay.
know, so that's something that I'm really into as well.
Now, I know now this is something that is semi-scripted because I asked you about it. Do you have any of your builds with you that you had from the weekend in North Carolina?
I do, but I also have some that I recently
Even
finished
better.
and
Yeah.
kind of still working on. But every convention is different,
Okay.
so there are certain conventions that I will bring certain mocks to.
Okay.
So, for example, there's a convention that is pretty local to me where I can actually drive to. That I usually just bring nothing but anime.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I love anime. I'm a big anime fan. Dragon Ball Z is one of my favorite animes. But this particular convention, it's heavy enthusiasts are anime people. So I always design and build like
Okay.
anime stuff. So I do have two characters here that I'm still working. One is relatively finished. The other one my son got to, so I got to look for those parts. But I
Whoops.
don't know if the folks are watching, they can kind of look at it and maybe they can kind of tell
Wow. Holy
who
cow.
that is.
Oh, that's awesome. I know I'm not much in the anime. I can recognize the character. I couldn't give you a name, but I do recognize the character.
Okay,
That is really
so
cool.
you,
So this is part of the character building, which also reflects realism too,
yeah,
because based off the show, it's kind of like a dual a dual thing there.
uh huh. Here's another one.
Oh wow. Wow, you do a fantastic job. That's
Thank
crazy.
you. So I started getting into this. I would say maybe 2 years ago,
Okay.
and I just saw inspiration in different areas from different people,
Sure.
and just looking at that stuff, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I would love to design stuff like that and create stuff like that. So just pulling information and just inspiration from different sources, I started, getting good at kind of designing these things. So this is kind of where I am. I'll show
Okay.
you one more thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So the realism part. Now, this is what I'm actually bringing to Chicago. So Brickworld
Oh,
Chicago
you're
is
gonna be
like
there.
I'm gonna be there.
I'm going
So
to. I'll see you there.
going. So I will
Yes.
see you there.
Sweet. All right.
That's like the Super Bowl of our Lego conventions. It's the biggest
I
convention.
I picked
Everybody
the
from near and far.
I picked the biggest one to start with.
It kind of sets the bar for you,
That's
you know.
yeah. Yep. Yep.
But I will show you what I am bringing. A small. I'm just gonna show you the small portion of it. So
Oh my gosh, you're not serious, are you?
very, very serious.
Holy cow! Wow,
Yeah,
man, that's gonna be epic. That's full like life's people scale. We're gonna call it.
people scale. Yes.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yep. So I have the pieces. Um, I'm I'm going to be working on this again. I started working on it late last
Okay.
year. Then I stopped for obvious reasons. And then convention season was happening again, so I had to kind of focus in and get my mocks ready for conventions.
Okay.
So now we have about 2 months before the next convention with Brick Fan Expo, which is in Alabama. So I have about 2 months to kind of finish up.
Oof.
So I have the base of the model. I'm
Okay.
now at the horn portion, so that
Okay.
curve and then the horn. That's where I'm at right now. So
Oh man,
I'm
man.
I'm
I'm
feeling very confident in it.
I'm sending prayers your way because that makes me overwhelmed.
Yeah, it was definitely an instrument that I played in high school.
Okay.
Between the trombone and the
Okay.
saxophone, that was my two horn instruments. So I'm very happy to get a crack at this, and my goal is for it to stand out amongst all of the different models
Yeah.
and hopefully win an award there. So
I
that's the
mean,
goal.
I have seen videos from Brick World. You know, there's a lot of amazing stuff, but you give a life size instrument. I mean, that's going to stick out. You're not going to
Yeah.
have a problem sticking out with that.
Thank you, thank you.
I'll send my vote your way. Not that I got much of a vote for anything, but I'll send my vote your way.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I'm really
Yeah,
excited to see that though because that's incredible. Any build whatsoever is just incredible. But when you, I'm gonna call it upscale it. When you upscale it to make it like life
yeah.
size, I mean that's just like to me the outside product. I'm more of like a person that like I want to know how you got where you got.
Right.
If that sounds weird, it probably sounds weird, but you know what I
I
mean.
know.
Um, so like
Yeah,
you can see the outwards appearance of the instrument, but knowing everything that you put inside of it, that's where like the true like how you made it all come together, how you angled it, how you got pieces to stick. That's incredible. I mean, it's going to be a work of art. So
thank you.
kudos to you. I'm just going to give you a
Appreciate
round of
that.
applause in advance.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you
for
so much.
sure. Yeah, yeah. All right. So obviously, Lego is a big part of your life.
Yes.
So let's get into that other aspect of how it's a big part of your life, and that's with what you do with the Lego STEM education. So first of all, how did you start down this path of the STEM opportunities?
Okay. So a while ago, I worked for a company, and one of my former coworkers are actually in the chat,
Oh,
so that's
nice. Okay.
pretty awesome. So I was working at a phone company, and life happens,
Yep.
and I ended up going. We ended up splitting ways and going different directions.
Okay.
So as a result, I stayed home, and I stayed home for a year.
Okay.
I wanted to get back into work because I was taught to work, and I just kind of said, all right, let me take the year off. Let me figure out what it is I
Sure.
want to do. And then once that year was coming to an end, I saw an advertisement that said, "Do you love to teach? Do you love Lego? Try us." I was like,
Ooh.
okay, pretty on the
Yeah.
nose. So I looked into
Divine. Yeah.
yeah, I looked into them. We had an interview. I went to one of their classes in progress. I looked. I said, "Oh my gosh, I could definitely do this."
Sure. Yeah.
Teach kids using Lego, and then there's
Yep.
also a educational value to it.
Yep.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
So I became an instructor for about a good year with them. Kind of moved up the ladder.
Okay.
I became an instructor, and then I became a trainer. So I was
Okay.
going to train other people because there was one unique thing about my classes that other trainers had trouble with, and that was storytelling.
Yeah.
So it's an engineer based company, so they're teaching kids engineering.
Okay.
So understanding engineering is one thing, but being able to tell a story and encompassing that engineering is another thing.
Sure.
So I was able to kind of create and marry those two together.
Okay.
And 2020 hit, pandemic happened, all the schools shut down in Jersey and the tri-state area.
Yep.
So I was out of a job.
Okay.
So I said, man, not this again. This
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
second
That's
time this
awesome.
happened to me. I said, you know what? This is never going to happen to me again. I'm gonna take my nickname and my business name that I had at the time and make it an LLC. And
Yep.
I'm gonna focus my energy instead of producing product. I'm going to work in
Okay.
education. So I started doing virtual
Okay.
classes. So I offered a virtual class for kids who were home, and I connected kids from all over the country
Oh, nice.
to do a Lego
Okay.
class. And they would build, and then they will share what they built with all their
Oh,
friends.
that's
So
nice.
they made pen pals,
Yep.
in the process of doing that. Then as the world started to slowly open up, a lot of those different entities reached out and said, "Hey, we would love for you to do in-person classes? Do you feel
Okay.
comfortable doing that?
Sure.
And I said, yeah, of course. So that kind of transitioned into opening up and doing that. And then businesses started to open the doors to me.
Okay.
And I kind of just continued in that motion. And, here I am today.
Yeah. Awesome. So you focus on, is there a specific age range or grade level that you focus on?
Yeah, so K through 5 is my primary age
Okay.
level. I also do 6 through 8,
Okay.
so pretty much grade school,
Sure.
but primarily is K through 5.
Okay. And then, so the classes that you hold, do you go into school districts and then like outside things as well, or is it just outside, or like
Um,
where are you usually going?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
So some of my classes are based on the community.
Okay.
So I have a really big following in Central Jersey.
Mhm.
So I do classes from 2 locations in Central Jersey that a lot of my students they kind of just they gravitate to.
Okay.
On Fridays I do classes in the New York school
Oh,
district. So
okay.
I've created great relationships when I was working with my previous company in different areas in New York, and because of the relationship that I fostered, I now have a place in the school district,
Okay.
the same school, in Far Rockaway, Queens. So that's where I typically do a lot of my classes out of there on Fridays, and then Monday through Thursday I have my set locations.
Okay.
On Mondays I am in a school district in New Jersey. It's relatively new. I've been doing classes with them for close to a year now.
Oh, nice.
So that's growing in itself. So yeah.
So now the classes that you hold, do you have like a set? I don't know what's called a curriculum, but like something as such where like you have a set curriculum that kind of like resets in a given time period, or are you always creating like new instructional material?
A great question. So I would say in the beginning, I kind of did that where I knew in the fall, these are the
Yep.
classes I'll do in the fall, these are the classes
Yep.
I do in the spring, and then next fall, I do the same thing. I got bored of that
Yep.
because, once I started doing that, once I get to a place where I'm in auto drive,
Yep.
like I'm not, I'm kind of tuned out.
Yep.
And you can't be tuned out in this type of business. You have to constantly create, you have to constantly change because the world is changing for these kids. These kids are not living in the same world they lived in 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. They're constantly changing. So I have to constantly change with the times. So
Yep.
a lot of things that I would do in the beginning. So I was interested in Roblox because the kids were into
Okay.
Roblox. So I did that for a little bit. Kids got out of it. Some of my kids got out of it. So I said, okay, I got to transition. Minecraft has been a stable.
Oh,
So
sure. Yep.
as much as I used to do a certain type of Minecraft class, I started noticing how the kids were changing with Minecraft.
Okay.
So I would use Minecraft as a I guess as a foundation, and then I
Okay.
would build different curriculums off of that
Gotcha.
foundation. So, for example, Minecraft is one thing. Then I have what's called Minecraft City.
Okay.
So I'm teaching them about government and how government works, and
Oh,
what
interesting.
you need for a government to work. You
Sure.
need a mayor, you need chief of police, you need medical,
Okay.
banking. You need all that, and it's in the realm of
Okay.
Minecraft. And then I do something like Minecraft Kingdom, where it's they're kings and they're queens, and it's like a medieval type of thing, and they're trying to build up their kingdom, but then they're also going to attack other kingdoms, and
Oh,
I'm the
that's
warlord.
really
So
cool. Okay.
I try to come in and pillage and take what they have, but they have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do certain things to stop me. So
That's
very
interesting.
storytelling driven. So
Okay.
it's fun.
So do those like when you're doing those different stories, is that typically just for one class, or can they carry over into like other, I don't want to call them sessions, but you get what I'm saying? Like, is it just
Yeah,
one time, or like if you're doing the city, like will you grow it between two?
yeah.
Okay.
So my classes typically run from 5 weeks to 10 weeks.
Oh, okay. So
So
they're okay.
so it's a continuous
Okay.
thing. So I've worked out deals at different locations that I will store what they built
Oh, nice.
and grow it. And
Yep.
if there's other locations where I'm unable to do that, like mainly the school districts, I can't leave my stuff there because it's
Yep.
not attended.
Yep.
So I would literally safely pack what they've built, store it,
Okay.
travel with it, come back the next week, unpack it, and then they'll pick up from where they left off. But I
Yeah.
always try to give them limitations so they're not building too extravagant. Because I said
Yeah.
the bigger they build, the faster it will come apart.
That's
So
oh man, God bless you for transporting stuff. I mean, that's I think that's scarier than the builds themselves is or the actual building itself is actually transporting the build.
you know,
Because
when you have to transport your mocks to different conventions,
yeah,
you learn how to pack stuff. So
yeah, that's well. Hey, if you ever need another gig, you can pack stuff. You can be the look there you go, the Lego packer, Corey, the Lego
the
packer.
Lego pack. Oh my goodness, I'm sure I would get major business if I did that.
Oh gosh. Can you imagine like there are just some jobs that like they're really not like a realistic way to live,
Mhm.
but something like that, if you had it as a side gig, like you probably could make bank on that like if you had people moving.
That would be awesome.
All right, and then as far as the opportunities, now, do you ever go out of state? Because I know I think Tacos and I talked about that. I know you guys get together on this stuff. I think she said she does go out of state. Now, do you go out of state for opportunities?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So there are times that I love doing these different conventions because it's also a way for me to network and
Yeah.
actually, make money in that way. So recently, I would say maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I did a convention in New Jersey,
Okay.
and someone from Oklahoma was visiting with
Oh,
family,
interesting.
and I did a workshop, and they said, "Oh my gosh, we would love to have you come out to Oklahoma for a STEM night."
Okay.
So I said, sure. And I made it a trip because there was a convention in Seattle. So I said, all right, I'll come to Denver or Oklahoma. I'll come to Oklahoma, stop off at Denver, and then go to Seattle.
Okay.
So that's what I was able to do. A year from that, a year after that night, they reached out and say, hey, we want you to come out for a week.
Okay.
We want to do a summer camp. We want you to come out and teach our kids and stuff like that. And we made that happen. And I
Okay.
was able to do a camp in
Oh, nice.
Oklahoma. Same thing happened. I was able to do same place, did a convention in Jersey. Someone from Maryland was there. They saw it, they passed my information to someone else. And then Maryland reached out and said, hey, we have this thing called Active Minds. We want you to come out and do a summer camp for us.
Okay.
Came out to Maryland, did the summer camp.
Nice.
So I do travel outside of the state. Maybe not for weekly, teaching
Yeah.
opportunities.
Yep.
If there's a week long type of thing, I definitely do it.
Okay. I told Tacos I'm gonna keep her in mind, but now I have both of you, so we're
Yes,
gonna chat.
yes, please, please. We're geared up. So we have tons of ideas. We've sat down and we've gone through different ideas that we could possibly bring
Okay.
to different locations and based on budget. We've sat and spoke about those
Okay.
things.
All
So I know
right.
tacos don't seem focused all the time, but when she's focused, she's very focused.
Oh, I she that that was one of the one things that I was so excited to get to actually talk to you guys, like because when people see you on TV, like TV is such a production that yeah, you get a vibe for a person, but like you don't get to know them. Like you don't get to know like who they
Yeah,
are. Um and like when I before I actually had her on and I was like doing some research on her and I found out about the STEM stuff she does, I'm just like, this is not what I expected. Like they don't they don't promote that kind of stuff, you know? And so it's
yeah,
like you guys are 1% of what you are in the real world on TV. And so that's what's been the most enjoyable part is getting to know you guys as people. So
absolutely, absolutely.
uh, well, yeah, I will. I'm gonna touch base on you or touch base with you on that idea for opportunities because I'd have to do some finagling with maybe PTO or whatnot, but I think this could be a really awesome opportunity to work with you guys. So
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, definitely,
so
definitely.
yeah, I'll reach out to you for that. But
Cool.
yeah. So last thing I wanted to bring up, just because I'm obviously curious. First of all, congratulations! You had a massive win on the Holiday Spectacular. Well
Yeah,
deserved.
thank you.
Trophy, is that yours? Like you legit get to keep it?
You are on a okay. I think this is a 5. I think this is 5 for 5. 5 for 5. Okay, here we go.
Oh man, this is epic. Here we go, man. I've just been hitting all the spots tonight. Oh, I'm excited for this. Oh my gosh, look at that. Boom. This is
So
intense.
they shipped this box to me,
Okay.
and I said, "Oh my gosh, there's only one thing that could possibly be in this box." Come on, man. You don't have to block the way.
Oh my gosh, here. Oh, would you look at that? There it is. Holy cow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming that is just brick built, correct? It's not glued?
It is glued.
Oh, it is glued. Okay. Well, I mean it makes sense. Okay. So brick
Glued.
built, glued just for transportation purposes. But
Yeah,
that's amazing. That
I
is
could
absolutely amazing.
I could tell you this. And the other Lego Masters who have the privilege of actually having a win, they've had some horror stories
Oh, I can
of,
imagine.
of the trophy, not making it all the way to their home and pieces. There was one situation, I won't say who because
Okay.
it's not my story to tell, but
Yep.
one winner had to get 2 trophies at one point.
Oh,
'Cause
interesting.
it was very bad. So I was very pleased and happy when this came to me all in one piece and in that, heavy duty secured
Yeah.
box. So I was very, very pleased with that. I get to travel all over New
That's
Jersey
awesome.
when I do my assemblies, when I'm doing these different events. I just wheel it with me. I take it out, I put it up, and the kids are
Yep.
just like, is it real? I'm like, go ahead. And they're like, I saw this on TV. So it's just, I'm so happy I get to do this.
Do me a favor. This night is completely about you. But if you're talking to the person that story happened to, let them know that you have somebody that you know that's interested in hearing the story, and if they're willing, have them reach out because I'm very curious. So,
Will do. Will do.
all right. So then, so you were obviously there in season 1, and then 4 years later, is that what the Bricktacular? Okay.
Oh, yeah,
So
4 years.
okay. So obviously, being season 1, you were fresh meat. No, nothing to base off of. So how did you get? And if you can't talk about anything, just tell me. We'll move on to the next thing. But how did you get picked? Like, did you have to? You had to sign up or audition, or what did you have to go through?
You were 6 for 6.
Corey, you're killing me. I'm going to play the lottery. As soon as we're done here, I'm off to the store.
Yeah, you should. You should go to the store, man, and do that. All right, I'm going to show you. Okay. I had a summer camp in 2019.
Okay.
And this summer camp, it was I forget what I called it. But basically, I built this Super Mario brick built figure for my students.
Okay.
This one right here.
Wow. Look at that. That's awesome.
So
That is really cool.
thank you. I built this for my kids, and then I posted it on social media.
Okay.
And this was around August.
Okay.
September came around, end of September. One of the casting managers reached out, said, "Hey, we saw your Super Mario figure on Instagram, and we would like to talk to you about an opportunity to be on a TV show called Lego Masters."
Okay.
I sent it to spam. I didn't believe it was even real. So the same person sent me an email.
Okay.
I said, "Oh man, how did he find my email?" But I forgot my email is linked to my Instagram.
Oh, okay.
So person sent me an email. I looked at the signature. I saw the signature, and then it said producer at Big Brother. I was like, okay. So I did some research on the person.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is the actual producer for the
Sure.
Big Brother. I'm like, okay. Now I typed in, all right, Lego Masters. Let me see what that is. And then I saw 2 things that came up,
Okay.
the UK in
Yep.
Australia. I
Yep.
said, whoa. So this is an actual like master chef type of show.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
reached back out and I said, hey, I'm interested. He said, okay, you need a partner. So
Okay.
do you have a partner that you build with? I said, my
Yep.
brother. Me and my little brother, we used to play as kids, all that stuff.
Sure.
And we did a virtual interview and everything like that. They liked our style. They liked how we talked.
Okay.
And then a couple weeks later, they flew us out to Hollywood.
Okay.
We did an audition with all the other Lego Masters that you saw in season one
Yep.
over the course of 2 days.
Okay.
And we didn't hear back from them for like about 2
Okay.
weeks. And then as I was going to my class, today's Tuesday, the same location that I go to now
Okay.
is the same location that I went to when I was going in. They gave me a call and they said, "Hey Corey, we just wanted to know, did all those wardrobe choices, do you still have those readily available? Because I'm thinking they're gonna ask me to take more pictures."
Okay.
I said, "Yeah, sure." They're like, "Okay, great. Make sure you pack them up
Okay.
and make sure you get your stuff together because you're coming out to Hollywood." And I
Wow.
literally nearly fell to my
Yeah.
face. Like I was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, did you tell my brother? They were like, "Nope, we didn't call him. We're gonna call him now." I
Okay.
said, "Okay, can I be on the phone when you do that?" So they did a three-way call.
Okay.
Called my brother. My brother was like, my brother's very loud. He's a
Sure.
very loud guy. So he's like, oh, he's screaming and everything like that. And I'm like, bro, we going, we made it. So that was such a great moment. I went and taught class that same day. I don't know
Okay.
how I was able to do
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Seriously, that's
And then the
crazy.
next week
When
we
you were
were
there.
filming. There you
Uh,
go.
so obviously, what we see on TV is probably not even an eighth of what goes on behind the scenes. Um, so uh, I'm going to call it the boring stuff of the builds. Like they really know how to capture and twist the boring moments
Oh
to
yeah.
add the production value. Now, what I've been told, and I can't remember who it was who told me, but I don't know if it was tacos or not. But when those time frames, when they give you that whatever 12 hours or whatever, that is a legit time frame. There is no time stopping, correct? So
Yes or no.
okay.
So the only time they do stop time is when the camera crew goes on break.
Oh,
So
okay.
the camera
Fair
crew is
enough.
on. They're on a union, and they have a mandatory
Okay.
1 hour lunch.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Fair enough.
they'll count us down. They'll say, "Hey guys, we're gonna go to a hard pause,
Okay.
and we're gonna go and camera crew's gonna get their lunch. Builders, you guys are gonna get your lunch as
Okay.
well." So then they'll stop the time. Builders go out. We get our
Okay.
lunch. Come
Okay.
back in, get retouched up and everything like that. Get back in position. Then they'll say, "All right, we'll give you like maybe 5 or 10 minutes off the clock just to kind of get back into the groove of it." And then
Okay.
once we got back into the groove, time started, and they'll tell us like, "All right, builders, time has resumed,"
Okay.
and then boom, and then we're
And that
right
was
back
that.
into the zone.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean that's it blows my mind. So that time frame, and again, because I always just I love to verify this, that time frame you have, that does include your time to think of the design and design it. You don't get extra time for that.
no, so
That's
what you see, it's literally like this. Will Arnett comes out. We're all standing there. Will Arnett says, "All right, this week's challenge is, you got
love
to
the voice.
build something in space, and we're gonna smash it." All that stuff. So he gives the actual pitch of the actual project or the
Okay.
challenge, and then they'll stop. They'll say, "Okay, Will, leave the frame." Then our managers will come out. The challenge managers will come out,
Okay.
and then they'll say, "Okay, guys, listen. So it's a space smash challenge. You guys have your choice of 3 different types of ways to smash your build.
Okay.
We're not going to tell you which one. You have to run to the star. Make sure when you run to it, you don't attack it. Just run very nicely, grab it, and hold it.
Okay.
Once you hold it, we will freeze it there. We will see what it is that you got, and then you will move it back to the gallery, and then you will begin."
Okay.
So they told us exactly how they wanted us to do it.
Okay.
And during that time, we cannot talk to our
Uh-huh.
partners. So they made sure we
Oh.
were separated the entire time.
Oh,
So we
interesting.
couldn't brainstorm with our partners. We could
Yeah.
brainstorm, couldn't brainstorm with our partners.
Okay.
So then once they said, "All right, Guys, we're going to run over to the gallery. Action. Run over to the gallery. Grab it. All right, guys, let's stop here. Okay. Let's do that again.
Okay.
Go back to the same star.
Okay.
Go back to the same star. Okay, big energy, guys. Big energy. We grab the star. We go back to where we are. We see what we got. We go back to where we are, and then once we sit down,
Okay.
this whole time we can't talk.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
get back to where we are, and when they say, "All right, guys, the challenge is going to begin now." All right, bro. What were you thinking when we got this? Oh, I'm thinking this. All right, I'm thinking this.
Yep.
And then we'll go from there.
That's crazy, man. How you guys just like that? That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of brain power going on in there to just come up with something and then literally make it happen in the same day. I mean, that's incredible. Now the wall of parts as magical as it looks on TV?
So I had the unique experience on being on first season and on the last, and as of this point, the last season of Lego Masters. And I would say it's night and day.
Oh, really?
Our first season, we had all the pieces that you would need to build an amazing brick built type of thing.
Sure.
If I wanted to build something like this, we didn't have all those parts. So there were mixo pieces that we didn't really have a lot of, ball joint pieces. We didn't have a lot of those. So like these right here, these pieces on episode 2, we literally had like a small bin of them, and nobody knew about it besides the winner of that challenge. And he knows who he is. He got all of them. Because his build was just incredible. Because, I mean, he's an incredible builder, but it just accentuated it. But yeah, season 1 wasn't that great. However, the holiday special, literally I had everything to my disposal. There wasn't anything that I was longing for or looking for, like, oh man, I wish you guys had this. Literally had everything that I needed. It was right.
Now, did they ask you guys for feedback? Like when season 1 was over, did they ask you for any feedback? Like, how would you make this better?
Absolutely. After every challenge.
Oh, nice.
In fact, I'll tell you the story. On episode 3, during our lunch break on episode 3, the producers came out and they asked us a question. They said, hey, how do you guys feel about, building Lego that you can wear? And I was literally
Yep.
If that's the challenge, I'm in. So I was totally in for it. They said, okay, we're thinking about doing a challenge where you would have to build something and you would have to wear it.
Okay.
So we were like, oh, we all got excited. We were like, oh, the wheels are turning. They never introduced that challenge for our season.
Because I remember it happened. Okay.
They introduced it for season 2. That's incredible.
Yep.
That's the season that they had that. I was so mad. I was like, that's our challenge.
Yeah.
I told the rest of, like, I called the rest of my fellow Lego masters. I'm like, yo, you guys watching it? Like, yeah, we're watching it. Like, that's our challenge. Yeah, that's our challenge. I'm like, that's not fair. Yeah, but
Well, you know what? I think that this is a great opportunity. You guys should all come back together, maybe at a convention, and you should have a buildables. I can't talk. Buildables challenge, or wearables, and then there's your convention special right there.
Exactly. I already told them. I said if they were, I was hoping like for the holiday special we would have a challenge like that. But we didn't get that. But I said if we ever do a challenge like that, I'm definitely going to be wearing a jacket.
Okay.
Made completely out of like like a
awesome.
suit jacket. That's my signature look.
Yep.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That'd be awesome.
So I'm waiting for that opportunity.
Well, I hope it comes because I mean, obviously, with the instrument you're building, I would expect big things from a piece of clothing. So,
Absolutely.
So last thing with Lego Masters, what would you say, other than the wall or the parts available to you, what was the biggest difference between season 1 and then doing the holiday special? And I know it's not like disregard the number of contestants and whatnot, but what stood out to you the most?
I would say this: the level of relaxation that was on this round. they had to keep reminding me like, hey, Corey, we're doing this for charity. It's okay. We just want you to build and
Right.
have fun and
Yeah.
just do that. And part of me was like, yeah, I know I'm here to have fun, but I'm also here to kind of win. Like, I kind of have a lot to kind of prove because me and my brother, we got on the show, and we weren't really a part of the Lego community, so to speak. Like, we didn't go to conventions, we weren't part of any lugs, so we didn't have, it kind of seemed like they looked for people who looked nice to fill the role. And
Sure.
for a long time, some people, and people were honest with me. They said, Corey, we didn't even think you were a Lego builder. We just thought you were picked because you have a nice smile and you look nice in
Oh,
a suit.
really?
I was like, thank you. I'm glad that you're being very honest, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So, for me, it was like, I wanted to show that, yeah, I'm part of this Lego master community, but I've been building with Lego my entire life. And, just being able to do something to this nature, to this effect, by myself,
Sure.
I wanted to prove that. And, that was my mentality going in. So they had to remind me, hey, man, it's okay, Corey, you made it. Like, no, I haven't made it yet.
I would say you did a fantastic job of doing that because obviously you came around with that gorgeous trophy there. So.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
So before I let you go, I know I ran over. I didn't even realize what time it was. I'm sorry if I'm keeping you longer than you expected.
Okay.
I was looking on your website. So is it samzbrego? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yes.
for anybody rewatching this or watching now, Corey has a website. It's samzbrego.com. So it's samzbrego.com. The Brego pin, which you have represented on you already. Can you just give me a brief overview of that? Tell everybody what that's all about.
I sure can.
And I hit the jackpot again.
You might have. Let me see here. Let me see if I have it. You unfortunately, my friend,
I dropped the ball on this one.
you did. I dropped the ball on this
Jeez.
one.
Okay.
I usually have this piece close by. So I was going to a wedding, and while I was going to this wedding, I was looking for a lapel pin, and I couldn't find one, and I had these Lego cufflinks, and I said, okay, I put the cufflink in the lapel slip in your suit jacket. So I placed it in there, locked it, and I went. It was a 2x2 dark blue brick. So I went there, and all of the people were just like not all of them, but like most of my friends were just like, yo, that's a sick pin. What is that? And I was like, oh, it's a Lego piece. Like, oh, I've never seen something like that. And one of my friends looked at me. He was like Corey, like that's a lapel pin, man. Not a lapel pin. Sorry. He was like, that's a cufflink. I was like,
okay. Yeah.
Shut up. He was like, yo, man, it'd be real sick. That was an actual lapel pin.
Yeah.
It was like, like the cartoons with the light bulb.
Yep.
So I was like, that's a good idea. I haven't seen anyone do that before. So I started building it. I started an Etsy page. That started to grow a little bit. And then the famous musician from The Roots, Questlove, his representation reached out to me and said, hey, man, Questlove, he loves these Lego hearts, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, he would love for you to design some hearts for him. I was like,
awesome.
Man, it would be an honor.
Sure.
And I felt like I made it to the top of the mountain because if you're able to make some hearts for Questlove and he wears it, and it just so happened he wore mine to the Macy's Day Parade in New York.
Oh, wow.
So it was this big purple heart. If you
That's awesome.
Google the picture, you'll see it. And I was just so happy that I was able to reach that level of in the design field that I wanted to, and that's how it started, and it just kind of continued from there.
So then the Etsy page is you're still operating an Etsy page selling them?
Not as much. Lego has cracked down on a lot of Etsy stores using Lego. So primarily I do a lot of my sales through the conventions. So certain conventions where I'm allowed to sell merch is when I bring most of my stuff out, and people are able to just purchase it from there.
Will you have them at Brickworld?
unfortunately in Brick World, we're not allowed to sell merch.
Okay.
Um, so I would say there's other conventions that I do appear at
Okay.
that actually do allow me to sell merch, but my Etsy page is still available, and my website. There's a merch page on my website if you're interested in getting some.
So here I'm gonna toss this out here. Okay.
Listen,
I'm gonna give you a challenge. You take me as a person and personality. You tell me what I owe you. You make me one. Don't let me know what it is, and I'll pick it up from you. I'll send you PayPal, whatever, and I'll pick it up from you at Brick Roll.
got yourself a deal.
You got
Virtual
it.
handshake.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm excited for that, and I will make sure I wear it all the time because that'd be an honor to have that. So yeah, you just tell me what I owe you, and I'll definitely I'll send it your way, and then I'll see you in June. So
Okay. Okay.
awesome,
We'll make it
appreciate it.
work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to keep it any longer. I could just keep chatting all night, but I know you got dad stuff to do. I got dad stuff to do.
Yeah.
Anything you want to share? Anything you want to promote? Toss out there. Again, I'll mention again the website samzbrego.com, samzbrego.com. You can check out what Corey's doing. Obviously, make sure you're following him. He's worth the follow. Anything else? Anything else you want to toss out there?
I will leave this last thing. As you can tell, I've been like kind of reaching and just pulling out random stuff that kind
Yes.
of works with what we're talking about. But I want to show this last picture
Yeah.
right here.
Oh, look at that. Oh, I've been waiting to see. I see you bring this up. I've been wanting to see throwback photos.
This is me. I was about 13
Okay.
in this picture. We had my art teacher who's now passed away. She gave us a challenge every time. She'll give us different challenges in our art class, and one of those challenges in our art class was basically to build a board
Okay.
game. And I created the game Lego World.
Oh, nice.
And I have minifigs. That's the characters that you select.
Okay.
You would have to you have money that I created, and it'll play like Monopoly, but it's
Oh,
Lego
cool.
World.
Okay.
And that was my early stages of just building mocks.
Yeah.
And I got an A for that project. It was the most unique. It was different.
Sure.
And it was just bringing some of my passions together, and it was kind of a precursor to what I do
Yeah.
now. As a Lego STEM educator, a lot of my classes are creative
Okay.
builds, and yes, the kids are learning something dealing with STEM. My kids who leave my class, they're able to identify certain pieces from a
Yep.
Technic set. They're able to identify these pieces in the real world,
That's
but they're
cool.
also able to navigate and say, hey, I understand that if I have an item, I could put a price tag on it, and you have to buy this item from me if you want it.
Sure.
I know, like, they understand how to do that, so they're
Okay.
gaining life skills from
Good.
my classes. And
Good.
at the end of the day, I want our community to be a gateway for kids to do greater things.
Yep.
And even adults who find Lego as a way of unwinding and just kind of relaxing and everything like that. That there is a love, there is a passion for it, and that's my role, that's my responsibility, to be able to deliver that every time. So I thank you for giving me this platform and this time to just
Yeah.
talk about me.
Yeah. I appreciate you joining me. I've been looking forward to this. You did not disappoint. Based off of some of the questions I asked, I'm guessing I didn't disappoint you because you pretty much had stuff to show every time.
Yes, you definitely nailed it. You need to do the lottery tonight.
Well, Corey, I seriously, I do appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
For anybody who's just joined in, this will be going up as a recording. So if you missed any or all of this, you can go back and watch. We had a couple special reveals tonight. You can go back and see those. You can also see how good I am at bringing up topics and having the guests have something to show for it. So that made me feel good. But
Yes.
seriously, I'm excited to meet you at Brick World. It's going to be here before you know it. But yeah, I do appreciate you taking the time. And if you don't mind, I'd love to check in with you later in the year, just see what you've been up to during the year and see where
Yeah,
you're headed.
absolutely. We could definitely do that. Just to let you know, I'm a hugger. So when I see you, I'm going to give you a
Hey,
hug.
that's what
All
I'm
right.
all about. Smiling,
Nice.
hugging, It's all good. I love it. So,
Absolutely.
Corey, thank you again. I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for staying with us tonight,
Appreciate it.
and see you guys next time.
See you later,
All right,
guys.
see you, Corey.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Have a good one. All right, bye.